everybody, and welcome to the 18th episode of Puck Witches, a vibes-based podcast where we yap about all things hockey. Today is January 31st, 2025. I'm your host, Saint, and this is my partner in crime, Champ. Champ, how you doing?
I'm great.
As always, we have a lot to discuss about this episode, so let's jump right into it. Champ, we gotta talk about it.
Another quiet Friday night, Saint.
Every time we are about to record Puck Witches, some big thing happens. This is the third or fourth time.
It's the fourth. It's been the month of January where everything has gone crazy at the last minute.
But it's not even like, oh, guys, like 3 days before the episode. No. I mean, like, Champ messaged me as I'm about to get into a call with her and is like, they traded JT Miller. They what?
Yep.
So it's...
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Hope you're having a good night. This is, it's been a crazy week, Saint.
Life-altering trades. Like,
yeah. Some of these
back
people
to
haven't
back.
been traded ever.
Yeah, well, and again, as a Penguins fan, I don't have to worry about this because the Penguins understand
Oh my God.
fucking loyalty. Loyalty.
Yeah.
Okay, which one do we want to talk about first?
Well, I mean, we already started talking about it. Let's talk about the JT Miller trade. This one's been on the rumor mill for about, what, a month? It was because it was before, all of this started happening before I went to Seattle.
Yeah. So, like,
where there was whispers that there was a rift in the Canucks locker room. And then that whispers kind of came out blatantly this week, where the Canucks GM was like, yep, they fucking suck. And they're always fighting. And you're like, what? Team Miller, Team Pettersson?
Yeah, which is very funny.
Which is very funny. I was not expecting it's not normal for a GM to come out and say shit like that, is it?
It's not normal. It's also not probably a great business strategy to be like, hey, we're desperately trying to get rid of these assholes.
Because it was all week where there were rumors that a JT Miller trade was happening last week.
It's been a couple weeks
of
like, we knew that it was either Pettersson or Miller or both. And it was like, are they going to get traded to get... Someone said the funniest possibility, and I'm so mad that it didn't happen, is that Miller and Pettersson go to the Rangers together, and it's their problem.
Yep.
I think would have been hysterical. So we got monkey paw, half cursed.
Yeah.
You know, like...
So
Miller went to the Rags.
Yeah, Miller went to the Rags, and apparently he was part of the Mikko Rantanen trade. Like, he was in the name in it, and then got dropped by Carolina for Rantanen, because of course. And then they traded him to the Canucks, and again, to the Rags, and again, it's been a week since the last big trade, and it's always on Friday nights.
It is.
I
wonder if it's because people don't work the weekends. Like, office doesn't work weekends, you know?
When I worked in news, the statement was they drop all of the shit on Friday nights to distract you, because it won't get picked up over the weekend more often than not. I don't think that's what's happening here.
No. Oh, the Canucks are not retaining any money. This is from St. Frank Saravelli. Fuck you.
Okay.
Not retaining any money on the JT Miller's contract, which is a huge part of the puzzle for them. It is JT Miller, Eric Brandstrom, Jackson Dorrington to the Rangers, and then the Canucks get, and I'm going to butcher these names, Philip Keitel, Victor Mancini, a 2025 first round pick, which is top 13 protected. Top 13 protected. No salary retained on Miller. If New York Rangers get a pick in the top 13, the pick transfers to 2026.
Okay.
So that's a getting a protected pick is like,
that's really wanted Miller.
But I mean, like, the fact is that the Canucks, I think the Canucks lost this trade.
Really?
I don't think that, so I don't know actually, I guess it's tough because like,
you don't know what you're going to get.
He's a nightmare, allegedly. So like, it's not like their locker room is healthy to start. I guess it's one of those toss-ups where we're not going to really know who won and who lost. But on paper, that round pick is either going to be really good or really bad. Because
they're probably going to have to build that player up too. Yeah.
And that's the thing is you're investing in your future.
Yeah.
Versus investing for a cup run. I don't know. I truly don't know.
At this point in the season is smart. because the Canucks kind of they were keeping pace for a little while, and then the Pedersen and Miller drama dropped, and they fell off. And I'm just, I'm so sorry for them. Bless their hearts is really what they need to know. And then they're still talking about trading Pedersen to CBJ.
Which is one of those that it's like, okay, but they're like a cup contention team. Like that's a team that I feel like you don't. Oh,
that's are they a wild card still?
They're. I haven't even looked at the standings.
Because the Senators have moved up into third spot.
My East Coast teams just decided to fucking choke and die.
Yeah,
pissing me the fuck off. NHL. No, I want the standings.
Yeah, they're still a wild card.
So they're a wild card.
They're tied with Tampa for the spot. But the Senators are at 58 points. So I mean, it's that
again. It's the war of the fucking East.
Yep.
I'm gonna assume the Sabres, the Pens, the Flyers are out of contention, and Rags, Canadians, maybe Islanders. It really looks like it's gonna be a fight between the Lightning, the Blue Jackets, the Bruins, and the Red Wings, which you hate. Again, the narratively, the Columbus Blue Jackets going on to win the cup.
You'd be fine.
I wouldn't be happy. Fine. I don't really like the Blue Jackets, but fine, whatever.
Yeah. That wasn't the only big trade that we had this week, Saint. This one was, I didn't see it because of course the Oilers were playing when this happened. Farabee and Frost from the Flyers to Calgary. Who did they get? Calgary got, or the Flyers got.
Fuck, I didn't even look to see who they
Kuzmenko
got.
and Pelletier.
Yes, I knew Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko too. Like
those are.
I don't know that one. I don't know who won. I don't know. Some people were saying the Flames lost it because
they traded a second round pick and a 7th round pick in 2028, which feels so far away. It's gonna hit us in 5 minutes.
So soon. Danny is a nickname. Nicknames are for friends, and Danny Breer is no friend of mine.
What?
Because he's the GM for the Flyers. It's so funny.
I'm just happy that Frost and Farabee are staying together. I know that was a big thing going on.
Let me school everybody on this.
Yeah, please, because I didn't know about it until last night.
Yes. So the Philadelphia Flyers have a curse. And it's the do not separate a bonded pair curse, where they sent away Mike Richards and Big Jeff Carter, who were Flyers, and they had just signed like big deals, and they separated them. Fucking tragic.
Yeah.
Except Mike Richards was on the LA Kings, and then Big Jeff Carter joined the Kings later.
Yeah.
And then they won the cup. Romantic, beautiful storybook. I'm not happy it was the Kings, but you know what? We sometimes love just wins.
Yeah.
So in order to stop that curse,
for the Flyers,
Briere recognized, he's like, I can't send him. I can't split them up. I gotta send them as a package pair. So he sent Frosty and Farabee to the Flames, which is hysterical to me. Like, I think it's so funny when that happens. I'm really sad for Flyers fans. The bonded pair of like, we literally can't. They have to go together. Like these two, we can't split them up. It's two cats at the shelter where they're like, you got to take both of them. You know, that's literally what. I really feel bad though, because apparently like Claude Giroux gave like Farabee his blessing of like, I think you're going to be the next captain. And that was when he had just joined as like a rookie. And yeah, I mean,
it's honestly, it's kind of what Pittsburgh went through last year with Jake being traded.
Yeah, but it's
different because Claude Giroux still wasn't.
Rusty.
Yeah, and Claude Giroux still wasn't on the team. Like
they had already
over.
Yeah, he had already like, and I guess like because right now one of the other big trade rumors is like, do you get rid of Brad Marchand for the Bruins?
Would you like?
No, I think I think that's fucking stupid. It's just so fucking stupid. Like, trading captains, like what they did to Steven Stamkos, is always a dick move. Like Jacob Trouba, I think that it's basically a giant. If it's not agreed upon, right? Yeah. You kind of have to look at your guy and be like, listen, you are a franchise icon.
Yeah.
You are one of the foundational blocks of this organization and this team right now. What do you want?
Right.
Do you want to go to a cup contention team? Do you want to take a team-friendly deal? Do you want to retire? Like, what do you want? And what they did that with Sid Crosby. They were like, we will give you whatever you want. And he said, I am going to retire as a Penguin.
Yes.
If you pay me more than
8.7
87 number, I will kill you and everyone you love.
Yep.
So he didn't say that. I said it for him.
But it's the same, like Brad Marchand was literally the face of the Centennial.
Yes.
You can't trade that.
I don't think you do, right?
And
like,
also, I don't think he would. Like, I think he would quit hockey before he left.
Like, well, and that's what I think would happen. So,
Yeah.
like, I think if they go, hey, he's a UFA.
Yeah.
And Don Sweeney, fuck you, says, listen, man, you either take a huge hit to the cap, which is bullshit because they're raising the cap.
Yeah.
Or we trade you to a contender. You're a loner. You're still a really big player.
I think,
even though you're injured, like,
I think that would break Marshy's heart.
I think he'd just retire.
Yeah.
He's one of those old school.
Mm-hmm. Where loyalty meant everything.
Yeah.
I think if I was a hockey player and I got traded, I would be completely disappointed because I have such deep loyalty for my team.
I'm a loyal person. Like, I'm loyal.
But
like,
also,
and I understand it's the business, but like, there's a difference. There's people who know they're not lifers and people who are lifers. Brad Marchand is a lifer. He should and hopefully will retire as a Boston Bruin.
But also, can you imagine being traded mid-game? That happened twice this week.
Yeah, so apparently the report was that, who was it? Frost was hurt.
Yes.
Or he wasn't feeling well. So he wasn't going to play in the game anyways, which is almost worse.
Yeah.
Because you at least could have gotten one last game together.
Yeah.
And instead he was sick and missed it.
Wasn't Farabee pulled from the bench? Like, mid-game.
I could not
be wrong, but
I don't know about that.
I remember
Pete Blackburn screaming, "Stop trading guys on Friday nights."
Pete Blackburn, you're a mood.
Yeah.
But also, like, I just can't imagine being like, okay, blah blah blah, I'm getting ready to play so and so, and then they're like, actually, you're a healthy scratch because you're getting traded. I would lose my mind.
It was Frost who was on the bench.
Okay, so
and
Frost
then went to the locker room. But I don't think it was. They were saying they didn't think it was the trade. They were thinking it was that he wasn't feeling well or that something was a little off, and that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would just lose. I cannot imagine that happening to me. You would, because unless you hated your team, like legitimately JT Miller style hated your team, I think I would like be crushed. You're like, hey, by the way, I gotta go to Colorado. I'm being traded in the middle of the game, like Mikko Rantanen, and you're like, ouch, like, bye friends that I've made and the place that I love.
Like, well, and that's what I think hurts about Farabee. Like, and again, I'm not a Flyers fan at all.
You just
but
know
like,
them, they're your rivals.
Rivals, and like,
it's
I tend to know.
Yeah.
And I just tend to know about them a little bit more. And they like. He apparently like loved the city. Ugh. He was a huge Philly sports fan. So everyone's like crying that like someone said if the Eagles lose the Super Bowl that this is because they traded him because he wanted to be on Broad Street celebrating at the parade.
Yep.
He was just apparently he was a really nice dude. He like very integral to the culture. Again, he was going to be captain. Yeah. Like it was almost undisputed that he was going to be captain next. So it's just one of those things where it's like I like people are talking about it and they're like, this is like awful. Like every Flyers fan in any sense of normalcy is like, oh my fucking God, this sucks. Yeah. Like it would be like trading like Rusty and Rex to me.
Again,
like
Crosby would kill himself on center
if you take away
ice.
The two best and most competent wingers he's had in the current roster, I think he can and will and should get to murder you for free. Yeah. Kyle DeBoss, I trust you. Gun. Don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. I'm trusting you, Kyle DeBoss.
This is such a change from last season.
It is because he's done good so far. Like, again, you can't see the future. You just where he was a year ago, and I obviously didn't know much about hockey at the time. I was just mad about Jake Gunsel. But looking at it now, he has done.
You are on shaky ground. Kyle DeBoss.
You're on thin fucking ice, but I'll allow it. Like, again, he has won at like, the Jari deal sucked, but he's won most of the trades since. Yeah. Like they have come out
that
better
one
for
kid
it.
Who's in what is it, Wilkes-Barre?
Our prospect pool looks incredible. Like
Yep.
The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins got the reigning
9-0 shutout.
Against the reigning back-to-back Calder Cup champions, the Hershey Bears.
So funny.
So it's like they're like that's insane. Yeah. So I'm very hopeful for the future of the Penguins.
Speaking of, cap estimates were released today. For me, at least, it's a very good time to sign. Because we're gonna have Bushi and McDavid signing, and cap limits are going up year over year. That's 3 of our core. I would say Bushi is part of the core. I think Nuggy is as well. But if you're talking about player skill only, it's Dabo, Dry, and Bushi. And they're about to lock those guys in. Rantanen might actually... We joked about it earlier this week that Rantanen was absolutely in no way coming to Edmonton. It would be very funny if he came to Edmonton now because of cap raises. Do I think it'll happen? No, it's a wet dream. But it's just one of those things where it's going up. It's going up a significant amount.
It's like not
because like NFL level.
No, but like it's way bigger than what they've like. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And I can see that being one of the reasons that some of these trades are happening right now.
I was gonna say the other thing is a lot of people are jumping up on like, oh my god, this is really gonna like allow to have like a much better depth of teams, but really what it's gonna do is this is just gonna raise the price of players.
Yeah,
like you are not like Jeremy Swayman and Igor Shesterkin and like Leon Draisaitl. Those crazy deals will not be so crazy. They're gonna be actually underpaid because now there's a lot more cap room. I think if you're smart, if you're Davo, you sign a 1-year extension
and then
wait for the cap. Yeah, so that you have you take a team for, or just wait like maybe a 3-year deal.
Yeah,
instead of a long-term deal.
Can you imagine the ripples that would have across Edmonton?
People think that they're gonna trade Connor like already.
Somebody
people
on Twitter
literally.
I need you to know this. Somebody on Twitter said, "And how much will the Vegas cap be?" Because
oh my God, that's so
fuck
funny.
You, Vegas.
They took what's his name? Sad?
Yeah, I saw that. I was hoping he would come to Edmonton.
Yeah, apparently they grabbed him. So.
Which, I mean, that moves us into our next topic, which is Four Nations, Saint. First of all,
I thought you were gonna go right to Mark Stone, but
we'll get there. Oh my God, that man. Number 1, NHL won't sit players who opt out of Four Nations face-off. This comes after Alex, what is it, Petrangelo? Pulled out of the Four Nations face-off because of an undisclosed injury.
But that wouldn't stop him from competing in regular NHL games.
And he played 24 minutes. He had 24 minutes of ice time.
Yeah, like that
shows
he is the first player to opt out of the event while still actively playing.
Yep. So once again, Golden Children, because can you imagine any other team doing that? Like, yeah, actually, can you imagine
like
any
now
other
that
team
I think about it, because he said normally players who are named to NHL All-Star rosters, we're reading this article on ESPN.com, but opt not to participate in the event are required to miss 1 game immediately preceding or following the NHL break. The policy that on Monday, they said that the policy will not apply to players who decide not to play.
Which is bizarre, but again, it's just fucking Vegas doing what Vegas does best.
Because here's the thing, wasn't that announced after he already said he wasn't going to?
Yeah.
So like announced
so what happened was
they announced he said I'm not doing it, and then the next day they were like, actually guys, we're not going to penalize anybody. We know we normally do, but not
and in that I'm not going to do it, he said like he played that night. Mm-hmm. Which is like, buddy, okay.
Weird, very weird. Like, but then it's the Vegas Golden Knights, so less weird.
So less weird. If it was any other team, you know that they would have like locked down.
I think they would have said. I think they would have said like, all-star rules will still apply. Mm-hmm. I think they really would have. We don't know. I mean, this is just speculation, but
they're their favorite. It's Vegas is
the Vegas Golden Children.
What's his name's favorite? So
Bettman.
Yeah,
that's my phone finally telling me about the trade alert an hour later. I think because they were waiting for it to to actually be confirmed, because it was a lot of rumors to start, and then we were like, because there was some of the sources were a little unreliable,
right?
And so it was like, hey, is this actually legit? And then it was legit. Everybody was like, oh, okie dokie.
Which, again, we go back to the Vegas fucking Golden Children. The Heiskanen hit.
Yeah, which, okay, so I don't think Mark Stone is a dirty player.
Okay.
He doesn't have a history. He doesn't have a history of it. He really doesn't. Like, objectively, he does not have a history of it. He doesn't really do these kind of hits. I don't think he's not a... I don't think he's an ethical player, but I don't think he's a dirty player.
It's not like Patrick Kane.
Yeah, like
even Trouba. I mean, like Trouba throws. Elbows.
Trouba's a good guy off the ice. Yeah, Captain Elbow over there. But so this is out of character play style wise.
Yes.
Allegedly, again, I don't really pay attention to the Knights other than when they're pissing me the fuck off.
Yeah.
So like, take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I think he made a play for the puck that he did not think through, and I think that should have been a finer penalty because he acted in a way. Here's the thing: when you get into a car accident, oh, my bad, Your Honor, I thought I could make the corner.
Yeah.
What? That doesn't work. You still hurt a guy. Like, you still dove in a way that you should not have. And yes, he got a little bit tripped. It was not enough to send him. He dove.
Yeah,
he dove.
And again, I think he was going for the puck, and in his brain went, I'm going to get it no matter what.
Yeah, and sell the penalty.
Yeah.
Like that. And I get it. Like, you make that play. But he fucked up.
Yeah.
And he really hurt Heiskanen.
What actually bothered me also was that he laughed on the bench.
Yeah, that made me go from like, oh, I hate you because haha, fuck you, Vegas Knights. No, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's one of the few things that, like, overall, even the shittiest players go, you don't want to hurt somebody, right? That should always be your goal. And to kind of like laugh about it.
Seriously, because now he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, isn't he?
I think so, yeah. Like, it's not
and he had to pull out of 4 Nations.
Someone said if I got traded in the middle of a game, I'd start scoring own goals. Fuck you. This is why we're not hockey players.
This is why we're not hockey. Spite.
Spite and loyalty.
But yeah, that Mark Stone hit, when you sent it to me that morning, I remember going, oh, like that's bad. And they're on a deep cup run. Like, unless something goes wrong, they're going to go very far. We're tied at the top of the Pacific.
Yeah. So, like, I just don't, and I don't like that.
He's going to go on LTIR in about 5 minutes.
This statistic is that I don't think he's ever played a full season. Ever.
But he's already not played a full season this year.
I think it's something like he doesn't, someone had a stat on it, and I don't remember, but someone had a stat on it, and it was like he has never played more than 80% of a game. 80% of games in a regular season, which is crazy. Yeah. Like, I think the problem is then you, like, dive into, like, the ableism of, like, you don't want to say you guys can't have a player who's out all the time just because he's injured. Because it's like, well, Sid Crosby was out for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Like,
Sid's
you don't want to, and Sid's a fucking captain. But, like, you don't want to encourage that, but, like, you also have to be like, hey.
This is a pattern.
Hey, like, I don't know how the Oilers are going to do Kane. Like, that originally was going to be
he was supposed to return in March.
And it was one of those things where I guess they were going to be good, and now they're not, because he's going to be out for longer than they anticipated.
Yeah, he had a hernia surgery, and then he had a knee surgery, which he can stay out as long as he wants. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think he's coming back, objective. I truly don't. I wonder if he, like, they're saying, oh, he's going to be back for playoffs. Like, I think I texted you this, and I was like, I think he's going to play enough games in playoffs to get his name on the cup. Whatever the minimum is, I think you have to play 1 full game, I think.
I don't even want him to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it, but, like, I understand for them, and then I think he just retires from injury. Because I think they can't take the cap hit for that second year. I don't know.
This one's from you, Saint. The Wes Johnson recovery. Tell me what's going on here.
So I know Wes Johnson because I'm a big fucking nerd.
Okay.
And I'm a Bethesda bitch.
Oh.
And he's a voice actor.
I didn't realize that. I know you mentioned it. I skimmed over it.
Okay. so he's a voice actor. He was Shigaroth in the Elder Scrolls.
Oh my god.
Like, he was Shigaroth's voice actor. And then I knew him from Skyrim, like, it's Shigaroth.
Yeah.
And then I knew him again from Fallout. Because because Bethesda bitch. And he does, like, the Protectrons. He did the Silver Shroud, which was so cool. He did, oh god, what was the other one that I was like? He's been in a bunch of video games. Oh, he does the Protectrons for, the new Fallout 76 voices. He's like, they keep him.
So he's not just a cap announcer.
No, he's not just a cap announcer. He was Mo Cronin. He did Emperor Titus, Shigaroth, Lucian, Lachance, Dremora, Hermaeus Mora, Fox. Like, he's one of the Bethesda babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he just isn't. So I knew him from that. And then I found out because I got posts from my Fallout like mutuals, and it was like, oh my god, like, he had been found unresponsive in a hotel room.
Good
and
God.
He was in critical care.
Yeah. So that's from your Fallout friends.
He was in ICU.
Yeah.
And then the Washington Capitals made a post.
And you're like, wait.
And I was like, what? And it's because he's the PA announcer,
which is so
for
funny.
the Capitals, and has been for like a really long time, I guess, like 20 something years or 25 years.
That's so funny. You know, it's always funny to see like our worlds cross, especially now because we're not used to it. Like, because we're big gamers, obviously, and have been. That's what the whole channel is set up around. That's why we stream. Like, that's our whole thing. And then all of a sudden you come in here and you're like, oh, we're hockey bitches now. And then, and now the worlds are colliding. It's small, but like, that's not the only time that we've had that collide. There was something else that happened in like this hockey season, and both of us went, huh? Wait, what do you mean they're connected? It's just so bizarre for me to be, and it's just because we're just still now getting into sports and realizing how much sports affects everything.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, again, I live in a hockey city.
Yeah.
And you kind of just take it for granted of like, oh yeah, it's just hot. And then you go, oh wait, it is like a small community, but it's also a big, because it's not football, and football is Americana. Like, it's everywhere. And I guess I didn't like, I don't know. There's just some like realizations of it, of like, oh, these are a lot more interconnected. Anyways, Wes Johnson is, he posted a selfie on Twitter. He said, free from the hospital, alive and grateful. And he posted a selfie, which was really nice.
Oh.
And he left because he was at a convention for like Alzheimer's.
Okay.
He was doing like some kind of charity thing, I think, and then he left the hospital. He says, farewell Atlanta, the future awaits, and he's got a Washington Capitals like hoodie on. Because it was all over my Fallout stuff, because he did Fallout for Hope, which is a gaming charity initiative. He also was really cool because apparently he did like so he did voices for like a Skyrim fan thing as his characters that he voices in Skyrim.
That's so
like,
cool.
You know what I mean? Which is what I would do if I was a voice actor. Someone would be like, hey, so I'm making like this fan thing. Would you want to voice act it? I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I've never that's something that I feel like the Baldur's Gate 3 voice actors would do. They would be like, yes, I will voice anything you want.
I found out very personally a couple of weeks ago that most voice actors cannot do that because they're under NDAs.
Yes, you're under contract.
I love that he had that opportunity to do that.
I think it was something that, like, because Bethesda is overall pretty chill with fan mods and fan stuff, as long as you basically you got to be like, we're not making money off of this. Hey, can we do that? Because they officially, like, they were like retweeting about the Fallout London mod, which was like a huge expansion. That's basically a whole new game. And
I love companies that like, and when you prepare mods for your games, as much as I fucking hate EA, Sims 4 does that. Like, they built a community around being able to make custom content. Stardew does the same thing. It's just, it's so great to have that, like, level of trust in your community. But that's so funny that he would do fan stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
know much about it.
I love that the worlds have intercrossed like that.
Yeah. Like, it's just cool. And I like it when that kind of thing can happen. Because sometimes they're not cool about that. Yeah. Like law, and I get why. Like, there's like, so that happened, and I know we're talking about video games, guys, sorry, but like, it happened in Fallout where A Tale of Two Wastelands, which was a remake of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas in the Fallout 4 engine.
Mm-hmm.
And they were basically going to rebuild it from scratch using Fallout 4 assets. And they wanted to use the voice actors and just take the clips from the original games. And Bethesda was like, you can't. Like, you can't do that. And so what they did was they recast everyone and had open casting calls for people to come be the voice actors and do like they literally have rebuilt the game from scratch, including all the voice lines, because Bethesda was like, we're so sorry, but like you can't, like you like there's contract shit that we can't reuse our assets for a game like this because it's different than just modding something a little bit. Yeah, anyways, congratulations for getting out of the hospital, Wes Johnson.
We're so glad that you're safe.
Yeah, your calls are really cool. The few that I've seen, because it, you know,
power of friendship and whatever.
Yeah. Capitals. You know, I hope if they win the cup, you better get a fucking ring.
All right. Well, Saint, do we have a sponsor today?
We do have a sponsor. Today's sponsor is Saint Astra, a Twitch streamer, cosplayer, and artist. You can support her by purchasing from her Etsy or subscribing on twitch.tv/Saint Astra. Use your free Prime sub and get access to cute little emotes. Saint Astra's Etsy also sells a variety of jewelry, decorations, and trinkets. Everything is handmade and crafted with the perfect balance of love and spite. All proceeds go directly to the Saint Astra Dry Settle Jersey Fund.
Speaking of Four Nations, which we're gearing up for, they have released the Four Nation captains. I think only one of these was a surprise to our predictions, but I'm thrilled with how they've come out. And Saint, I sent you all of the links. I'd like to go over the captains and assistant captains. Let's start with Finland. Yeah, whatever. This says
because that's the debate. Is it alternate or is it
assistant? This says assistant. So
does it? Okay.
Yeah. So let's start with Finland. To no one's surprise, we nailed it. It was Barky. I will be wearing your bracelet in about a week from now.
A week from now.
A week from now,
we will be in Florida. Anyways.
Yeah. Then they also named Sebastian Aho, Mikael Granlund, and then Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah, that all tracks.
That all very much tracks.
Yeah, we 100%. I don't think it was any doubt because it was just one of those of like he's captain of the team that just won the Stanley Cup. Of course, it's Barky, and he's very well he's like when they did like the Finnish trip for the Panthers, like it is very well rounded and like he's very beloved there, like by his Finnish teammates, by the Finnish people. Like, I mean, he's a hometown hero. Yeah, for sure. So no surprise. I'm glad it's him. I think he's going to do great.
This was for Sweden. This was our, the one we did not get right. Yes. Four Nations captain, Victor Hedman. What team does he play on?
Is he Lightning right now? Yeah, he's Lightning right now.
Okay, that makes sense. So Victor Hedman, and he's not captain, is he?
Oh, that's right. Is he? Because of the...
Stamkos is gone.
Yeah, who is the captain? Hold on, now I gotta look. I just Googled him. All right, Victor Hedman. Oh, he's a lifer.
Okay. Don't trade him because, again, loyalty.
Yeah, he's been in Lightning. Yeah, no, he won the Conn Swift. Oh, and he is the captain now.
Okay. Yep. So, that makes sense. Matthias Ekholm, Erik Karlsson, and William Nylander are all assistant captains. Again, those were the three that we were going over and going, yeah, they'll probably be up there. I love that they named 2 defensemen as assistant captains. Again, Sweden with the best defense.
But EK, you have to have EK, right? I like how they basically big jumboed EK as if he has not been a captain and before, but
I forget that he were like before.
They were like he just brings back like the best vibes. Like that was like he was quoted as being like, yes, he's just a good vibes guy. Yeah. Like he brings such good energy to the locker room and he's just so cool. Like everybody gets along with him.
Yeah. And then Matthias Ekholm is just dad. Love that man. I'd wear your jersey any day of the week.
Yes.
So this again, it's not a shock. It was just we didn't know Hedman was the captain of the Lightning.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be EK or not, just because it's EK.
Yeah, he's not been captain for a while.
Yeah, he hasn't been captain since the Senators, because he was the Senators captain. Yeah. He wasn't the Sharks captain. And Nylander's a good choice too. Yeah, and Eki's a good choice.
Eki and Nylander, I think we're both up there on our options. I'll have to go back and listen to that. Four Nations for USA. The captain, to no one's surprise, is Austin Matthews.
Yeah, that boy is...
Assistant captain is Charlie McAvoy and Matthew Tkachuk.
The big surprise is that they didn't name 3. Like, U.S. and...
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, the American side...
Yeah.
Only named 2 alternate captains.
I saw somebody say... I saw somebody say that, what was it? Quinn Hughes refused the letter because he's already dealing with enough.
He's had enough shit, honestly. Because people were like, "Why not Quinn Hughes?" And I'm like, "Let that boy rest. He's already got to be."
He's so tired.
He's so
with cap
tired.
raising on. He may just go to the Devils. Honestly.
Yeah,
can you imagine all 3 of them on the Devils?
I think that'd be so funny.
But yeah, so Austin Matthews, that is not a shock. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, and McAvoy and Tkachuk are not a surprise either because
I did see some tweets that said if Matthew Tkachuk was not the captain, they were wasting good American spirit, and unfortunately, that is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Even though my feelings towards that man are complicated,
complicated at best, but they're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
It's like because again, yes, absolutely, you can do. I think they were thinking. Because let's see, you've also got JT Miller, Chris Kreider.
Oh God, JT Miller,
Jack Hughes, Jake Gunsel, Jack Eichel. I would have guessed Jack Hughes just for like the because it is just for and Larkin too. He's captain of the Red Wings, so they did kind of have like
other options. Yeah,
it was dealer's choice kind of, but I think
I wonder.
Choice.
Oh, I agreed. I wonder if that's one of the reasons that they only have the 2.
Because they didn't want to be like
so many other options.
They're like, fuck it, we're picking the guy who's one of the best players in the world right now. Yeah. We're gonna play. We need a really good defenseman. Charlie McAvoy has tons of leadership experience, and then Matthew Tkachuk and America, and also he's the assistant captain. It
doesn't matter. Like when you look at him, he screams Eagle.
America.
So
yes, he does. He makes he's like every TikTok comment.
Yep.
Yeah, the raw America. And like
if they don't play Freebird at the freaking
that needs to be our song, and like I need it so bad for every goal. America's a scary team on this one because the goaltending is elite.
It really is. Hellebuck and Sway and who else? Otter?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, when we looked at it, we both went, oh.
Yeah, everybody kind of, it is Hellebuck, Otter, and Swayman. Like, that's a full body, because it's different, like, when you have hopefully picked some very good defensemen like Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
Like, and Werenski. Like, again, I think America is pretty well-rounded.
Shame that I feel very little national pride this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be like, rah, America when it comes to sports. But in my heart of hearts,
then we get to Team Canada. This one's a shock.
To everyone. Who could have guessed it?
Who could have guessed it? Sid Crosby is the captain.
Because he is Captain Canada, Prince of Canada, deliverer of that golden goal.
That is his legacy.
Yeah, like that was the moment. A lot of people said, when's the turning point in culture of hockey?
Yeah,
overall, to hating Sid Crosby, and then switching to so Canada hated Sid Crosby. There was a love-hate relationship with Sid Crosby for a lot of his career because he was the best of the best, blessed by Gretzky as like, this kid's the next me, basically, as close as you're gonna get, and he goes to play for an American team.
And
that was already at the start of the drought, where the last time a Canadian team had won the cup was in the 90s, and he was drafted in the early 2000s. So it's like, they get frustrated that like and also like, if you ever look back into, because this is one of those things of recency bias, they were the press for hockey was vicious about Sid Crosby. He needed a gun. We needed to like let that man absolutely beat the shit out of half of the reporters and byliners in the fucking country.
He went from having a soul to just not saying anything.
Yeah, because everything he said was turned against him. Anyways, the point was a lot of Canada, and just in general, if he wasn't on your team, you hated him because he's the best. But Canada in general had like he betrayed us and played for an American team. And so fans of the Canadian side of hockey were not particularly fond of him overall.
Yeah.
Obviously there's dissenters, but like overall the vibe was not positive for him. A lot of people thought he was overrated. He was injured, blah, blah, blah. And then he won the golden goal. And that was the moment where it was like, oh no, this is he's our boy.
That's
you know, he
Captain
is bringing
Canada.
hockey back. Yeah, he is Captain Canada. He brought us back. He is the Prince of Canada now.
I saw, then we have Cale Makar as the assistant captain and Connor McDavid. Again, no shocker there.
Yeah.
I did see that somebody say, oh my God, Nate Mack got screwed out of it. And I'm like, Nate Mack also probably didn't want the letter.
Someone said that if they had 3, they forgot that like you need a defenseman, but they were like, no, it should be Sid, Marshy, and Nate Mack because of the Nova Scotia Mafia, which Sid thinks is hysterical. And by hysterical, I mean he smirked at it when a reporter asked him about it.
Funny.
Which is essentially him laughing hysterically.
Because again, media training.
Yeah, media training since he was 14. The Nova Scotia Mafia will just exist on the ice, not in name.
Oh
but
God, I'm so excited to watch Four Nations. It would be so
really
different.
It's happening, Champ. It's happening right before
it's right when we get back from. We are the last game before Four Nations and the first game back from Four Nations.
Yes,
that's so funny.
We bookended it. We almost could have been.
We could have been
if they had made the prices. Because I looked, I was like, we could just. I know you already booked tickets, but like 2 days early, right? Like, you know, just you and me. Like everybody else can come later, but I was like, just me. We can do this. We can just go up 2 days early and go watch
the
whatever game is in Boston. Yeah. And then I looked at prices and I was like, nosebleeds are in the triple digits, basically, or like almost in the triple digits. And I was like, no, thank you. We're good.
We could have gone to a Boston bar and just gotten shit faced with everybody else.
Yeah, we could have, but we didn't really realize that because.
We're not the brightest.
We are. There's too much going on.
Saint, our last predictions, because we will not be. We'll be watching Four Nations when they're happening, but we will not be here next weekend. Who do you think is going to win Four Nations?
I don't want to say it's anyone's game, because I think I really don't fucking know. Like the rosters.
The rosters are incredible. We talked a little bit about how we wish there was some youth on that, but I do think that they have about the most of the faces of the NHL.
Canada is a little old, though. Yeah. I don't think they have the. I think USA may win it.
That's what I was thinking.
Let me put it. I will not be surprised, because in this game of goaltenders stealing games. And you have 3 goaltenders who can absolutely steal your game, and you have some of the best defensemen in the league.
Yep.
Not to say that Sweden and Finland don't have good, and Canada, but like, I mean,
it's a different
Werenski
breed.
And Hughes.
Yeah.
Like, elite. So, and then you've got
I will say, there are a lot of injuries going on right now.
Yes. And I think that's something people are forgetting with Four Nations overall, and Canada specifically. I love Marshy. Mans is recovering from surgeries that he should have not come back into the season for. I am a firm believer Marshy should not have started the season, and he should have taken another month off to recover. But I know why he didn't. I kind of wish he wasn't in Four Nations, not because I don't love him, but because I think he needs to fucking rest. But if he feels good, he feels good. Like, you know, let him do it.
It's just one of those things where it's like, on the outside, you can see them and go, yeah. I mean, these are pretty big names. But that names and statistics don't matter, because we saw how that works with
everything.
Yeah,
everything we've ever witnessed.
Yep.
As a fun little, I'm very excited. I'm like, yeah, I think it's gonna be really, really cool. I know some people have not been super hype about it, but like, I think that they did you see the price of jerseys?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
And the customization, because USA went balls to the walls and had 3 colors on the lettering, that it's like almost as much as a jersey to get the custom lettering. Fuck that shit. Yeah. Fuck that shit. This pisses me off so much, but Utah, the fake hockey team that does not have a name, that formerly the Arizona Coyotes, except they're not. They just have all the same players.
Right.
They said the first year we're not gonna have a team name. We're gonna put it up to the people. We're gonna vote.
Yeah.
And they had some really good ones in there. We talked about how Black Diamond would have been fucking sick.
Yes.
All right. I still maintain that. and whatever. We're moving on. We're moving on into the future, into the present.
Sure.
The finalist was Utah Yeti,
which was awesome.
Which was awesome because it's a mythical creature. It fits the Utah wilderness.
Yep.
It fits it just works. Okay, Utah Yeti, and the way you name things in English has a certain convention, and names that have repeating consonants and short vowel, like mimicking vowels, Utah Yeti, that fits. It works. It sounds so good. And the fucking Yeti Cooler Company said, we won't sign a coexistent agreement. You guys got to pick another name.
The Yeti Coolers.
The Yeti Coolers. And so you got to pick another name. So Utah said, okay, it's going to be Mammoth
Hockey Club. And then it was Wasatch for the Wasatch Mountain Range.
Which I like, that's cool, but like obviously not
something
that I think people are going to go for. And then
they changed it to Outlaws.
Because people were like, no, Wasatch is just not a good team name. Which Outlaws is, again, as everyone has said, a basic fucking name that doesn't really have any. I mean, you're in Utah, Texas, and that's not a state for outlaws. Like, no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
there have been some things that it's like, yeah, there are some outlaws that lived, but it's not like
fucking Mormons, like outlaws to the sanctity of common sense. Mormons, we are not friends.
You made me choke on my drink. I just find it really funny that the Yeti Coolers are bitching about Utah Yeti when Stanley Cup literally has the Stanley Cup.
So I'll give Stanley Cup, I'll give a pass because Stanley, the company, has been around for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've trademarked Stanley Cup. I just think
one?
that became the
company?
So Stanley, the brand, has been around since the 1900s,
right.
like early 1900s. So like they get like the Stanley Cup has been around for longer, but I don't like it, but I'll tolerate it. I will not tolerate blatant and flagrant abuse of trademark laws because we have Dove Chocolate Company and Dove Soap. And guess what?
Magnum
those aren't
ice
the
cream
same
and
fucking
Magnum
brand.
condoms.
Not because we have a little thing in law, which is that if you are not in competing in the same industry, there is no reason for you not to be able to use the same name unless a court or judge finds it that the conflict of interest or the chance of the general public conflating the two is too high. No one is going to think that the fucking Utah Yetis are affiliated with the Yeti Coolers. Be so for fucking real. Fuck you, Yeti.
You could have also done like branding,
a sponsorship, like a branding. And
this is an L.
This is a big fat L. It was the best of the name options. I'll tolerate Mammoth and Outlaws. Mammoth, I think, is better than Outlaws.
I agree. Have you seen the Mammoth jerseys?
Yeah, the concept art for it.
I was like, all right, sure.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Oh, okay. Wait, sorry, Saint. Because before we get onto more naming issues, there's a post on Twitter by Mac Father, which says, Outlaws have nothing to do with Utah. Number one, yes, it does. Number two, how many penguins have you seen in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, which is funny, but alliteration is more important.
Yes. Another person said Arizona Coyotes has a nice ring to it. Very funny. Very funny. The Mammoth jersey concepts, I think, I like them. I think that it's significant enough of a brand. It would have been better if it was Yetis, don't get me wrong. But the concept of the logo, it's a creature that you can make a logo for. You can't do that with Hockey Club. It's really hard to do it with Outlaws. We saw that in Overwatch.
Yeah, because and the Outlaws, at least, again, Texas, the Houston Outlaws made sense because it pulled into Texan style, and so they definitely leaned to a cowboy and star aesthetic. But in a court of law, if we did not live in whatever this stage of the country we lived in, would not have. It's a 50-50 shot because technically what they're gonna say is there any other hockey team that, or even any other sports team that has a competing name with a company?
Yeah.
And so they're gonna argue, no other, like, you don't have that for Chicago. The only one I would say is the Red Wings, is you have multiple Red Wing teams. Like, you have one in, like, minor league baseball, they're, like, you know, or, like, Cardinals, or, like, Panthers. You have the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Panthers. But I guess you could argue that, like, they're different sports.
Yeah.
But again, I think that anyone with a functioning brain is gonna go, like, you can't, fuck you, Yeti.
Yeah,
like, I just
real.
fuck you. For real, fuck you. Like, and I think that's so funny because, once again, some boardroom was like, no, we are not going to sign a coexisting agreement. Which is not to say that, by the way, Utah could have pushed this. They could have gone to court over this. They just didn't want to. I think they either thought that it wouldn't be worth the money, or they didn't think that it would be worth, like, the time, because they need to start production on jerseys to sell them next October needs to start now.
Yeah.
So that's why they're pushing for it now, is because you need, like, a 6-month lead time to get, like, samples sent into overseas or Canada or wherever, get all the graphic design work, get the samples tested, bring them back, do wear and tear, all of that fun shit for merch. They have to do contracts with a dozen different companies for all of their different merch lines and then come back. That, I understand that they can't wait for a court case.
I get it.
But it still fucking sucks. And Yeti, I'll never buy your products. And I think a lot of hockey fans are pissed about it, who are like, yeah, fuck you. I'll buy Stanley.
Which is funny because I had such beef with Stanley. Stanley has better marketing. Stanley has so much better marketing. Because if you remember, after the fire in Paradise, California, they had that one car that burned up, and she opened her Stanley and there was still ice in it, and they sent her a whole new, like, Stanley, and then they bought her a new car. Great marketing. However,
and, like, it just, like, speaking of companies like that, like Scrub Daddy,
yes,
you know, like, I was not a Scrub Daddy fan per se. I saw the like, what was it, the Shark Tank pitch, and I was like, damn, I love seeing products from people who actually know what the fuck they're doing. Like, someone who worked in the industry and then developed a product to work from their industry, because you know it's good shit. And so I was sold on that. I was like, yeah, that's good. And then I started falling down the rabbit hole of TikToks where people clean like hoarders.
That's exactly why I don't like Stanley Cups.
Yeah, really? Okay, because
have you seen them load up the Stanley Cups with, like, going on a walk, and they've got trays of that bugs me. That's overconsumption.
The Stanley Cups went from being like a, hey, let's save the planet and have a reusable, durable, because I have a Simple Modern cup, which is a Stanley Cup dupe, basically. And it's half of the price, looks the same, and I like the fit of the lid better because it has a silicone top lid, which means my straw doesn't move, and if I knock my cup over, nothing spills out of it. And I've had the same thing. I have had a cup of water with ice in it, left it on my desk from stream, and then woke, like, a day later there was still ice in it. Like, so you don't need to buy Stanley Cups.
It's just so funny, like, because it's the same reason that Scrub Daddy is the, like, it gives you the ick, is because you see all of these TikToks overconsume. They're making mustard gas in their toilet.
But I was talking about the ones where they clean people's stuff for free, and Scrub Daddy sponsors them.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
No, so that's why I was saying opposite, is because I have seen the ones you're talking about where they, like, make chlorine gas and mustard gas, and I hate that because it's, first of all, you're poisoning our water supply, literally poisoning our water supply. I hope you get poisoning from your own self. Call Poison Control. It's free. And staff 24/7. Please call Poison Control if you do shit like that. I'm so serious. No, but so one of these, I don't know how I got into this.
I don't know.
It was like clean, you know, you start on cleaning and organizing shit, and then you're like, the algorithm finds you. And this one was like, there's two people I follow. One of them is a psychologist who got into cleaning people's homes because she understands grief, PTSD, mental illness, and all of those things can really impact how you keep your house. And so you have these hoarder level houses that are like, they are truly disgusting. And it's, what she does is she went in there and she calls them free cleanings. And there's a girl in Britain who does this too.
I have seen this. Yep.
Scrub Daddy, when they found out, because they were always saying, like, and I use my trusty Scrub Daddy to go in and clean this stuff because it's durable, it really works, and, you know, they can keep reusing it throughout the house when they do that initial scrub down of dirt and grime. Scrub Daddy, like the last one that I just watched with this one British free cleaner, Scrub Daddy flew her friends out so they could help her clean.
Good Lord.
and then gave them as many cleaning supplies as they wanted, like just stocked them for all the cleaning supplies that they needed from Scrub Daddy. And when they found out that like the woman's bed had like fallen, it was unsavable, the guy who was helping her, who's like the ambassador from Scrub Daddy, went out and bought her a new bed and put it together himself.
It's just a matter
like that's how you
branding.
do it. That's how you do it. Because now I buy Scrub Daddies. And I bought them anyways. Like once in a while, I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to get the Eco Scrub Daddy.
Yeah.
You know? And like, or when I like, if I have the choice, I'm going to go buy a Scrub Daddy product. I'll go get their stupid fucking whatever. Because I know that my money is going back to help people. Yes. I am not immune to propaganda. Like,
but it has to be good. Yeti, you fucked up.
Yeti, you fucked up. You had the chance to, you had the chance and you fucked it up.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move into sportsmanlike conduct. Saint, if you notice anything about the wheel this week, it looks a little skim pickings.
Oh, did you go through and get rid of names that we've already done so we don't have to spin it 3 times?
May have. You know, looking at this is very funny because we have much higher risk to get teams that we love. And also teams that we
Which is
hate.
Wild that we have not gotten our 2 teams.
You got the rags. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I was delighted to have to talk positive about the team I hate.
You didn't really talk positive either. Anyway, so...
I hope you get the Canucks.
Fuck you. All right, let's roll this. Spin this wheel. I'm feeling like nope, never mind.
Sportsmanlike conduct.
Oh no,
you fucks. This is because I tried to wish ill upon you. Is it cheating if I say I like their city?
You can't pull a Red Wings all over again.
Well, okay, but Detroit was like Rust Belt City solidarity. Chicago is Great Lakes City solidarity.
Okay, you can't keep doing that.
I have a friend who lives in Chicago and they're cool, so I guess Chicago's cool.
You know,
I really like. There's not much. You know what? My nice thing is I really like Connor Bedard. He's a little bitch.
You know what?
I hope he gets out of there.
That was one of mine as well. I have a different one. I like Connor Bedard. We've got to get him out of there.
We got to get him. Or a code. No, you know what? I don't want him to get a codependent rookie. I want him to get out of there. That's what I want.
He can go.
I like that half of the team is Bruins.
Yeah. Pat Maroon, we got to get you out of there.
We gotta get you out of, like, I will say I do appreciate as a team that I like that when Connor Bedard got that bad hit this week, everybody fucking jumped him, which is what you gotta do.
And they also, you know, this is not mine, but I will say that I'm glad that they did not give him the captaincy.
Yes, that was a good call. One of the few ones they've ever made.
Yeah.
It was a good call. Let that child be.
Mine was that they seemed to suck at trades. And so they made last Friday really interesting.
Yeah, they were like, that one meme that was like, when you talk about the big trade between these two, could you also include me in that? Thank you. And it was
Still don't know what the purpose of that was.
Yep, they just wanted to be involved. I think it was because somebody's cap was included or something. I don't, because they paid for part of it. They paid for 50% retention of the cap.
Don't understand.
It made no fucking sense.
Not a fucking clue. They just wanted they wanted the picks, and I get that. Yeah. But yeah, that's our sportsmanlike conduct for Chicago. Please, you know, I would love to see you have a rebranding, like the Washington Commanders did. And the fact that you haven't already makes me mad. So, I mean, sportsmanlike conduct makes me disappointed.
You have so much potential to not suck.
You have so much potential to not suck.
In every way.
In every way. And yet, you continue to screw
you won. Yep, you won your cups. We're good.
You know what? Yeah.
You won your did they won back-to-backs, didn't they?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was. So, you know what? You had your chance.
All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Folks, we really appreciate you listening in through all of our rants and ramblings. The Puck Witches podcast is released on Spotify and our YouTube channel, and you can join the Night Witches Discord via the link below to talk about the episodes directly, as well as enjoy our other channels. It's full of gaming, hobbies, and good vibes.
Sometimes we record these episodes live on Twitch, so make sure you're following us there. And if you want to support us with a Twitch Prime on either or both of our channels, you get access to cute emotes and extra channel points to prank us with. If you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky for updates.
And just a reminder, we are not here next week. We are going to Florida. It'll be fun. We may film something.
We who's to say?
Maybe something going on. It'll keep Saint's mind off the fact that she has to fly. And lastly, don't forget to support the St. Astro Drysaddle Jersey Fund by checking out Saint's Etsy or subscribing on Twitch. We love you all and hope the hockey season is treating you well. Champion Saint, signing off.
Stay witchy!